What is going on, everybody, in Wrestling Review Society's Facebook page, YouTube page, the brand new Twitch channel at twitch.tv/HeelKevin, and wherever you're watching this from. Guys, we have some NXT Vengeance Day predictions coming for you, and as you guys know, I never do this kind of stuff alone. I have a full panel waiting to dive into this card. But before we do, guys, I just want to take a chance to plug our amazing sponsors who make this show happen each and every time I turn this camera on. As soon as I can find my mouse. First of which being A-Rock Designs. A-Rock Designs is that custom business who's been making all those cool wrestling cups you see floating around, whether it be wrestling related, non-wrestling related, whatever you want. Make sure you go to A-Rock Designs on Facebook and place your orders with Ashley Rodriguez today. And if you're having any trouble finding it, reach out to myself or anybody that you're about to see on this screen, and we all can definitely point you in the right direction if you're having any trouble finding it. Also, guys, storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society to score all of our amazing merch. We have brand new shirt designs going up very, very soon. But as of right now, you can get our Wrestle Hub hoodie, our WRS Club hoodie, t-shirt, whatever you guys want. They even come in face masks and beer koozies. So you can get literally anything you guys want at storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society. Also, guys, scrolling at the bottom of your screen, thecoldestwater.com. Thecoldestwater.com makes some of the best water bottles I've ever had in my life. I've got one. My wife has one. My mom. Everybody's got one. And they absolutely are amazing. I put ice in it at 7 in the morning when I leave for work, and it still has ice when I come home. I mean, it is exactly what it says it is. It is the absolute coldest water. But it keeps things cold, keeps things hot. So whatever your needs are, if you want to get your hands on any of their water bottles, T-shirts, ice packs, anything like that, go to thecoldestwater.com and use promo code WRESTLING to save 10% at checkout. And, guys, our newest sponsor, thefirstwarrior.com. Guys, this is a new clothing company that just started up. They have shirts, hats, and a lot of patriotic themed apparel. So if you guys want to get your hands on anything like that, go to thefirstwarrior.com and use promo code WRS. That is promo code WRS for Wrestling Review Society and save 10% at checkout. With that being said, guys, we're going to get right into bringing the guests on and doing our predictions and everything like that. Thank you to everybody who's watching on the new Twitch channel. As you guys know, we did make Twitch affiliate as of last week, so I'm really excited about that. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us with the algorithm and getting our content out there. With that being said, my first of 3 guests today, making his long-awaited return to Wrestling Review Society live stream. He is the owner, president, chief, whatever you want to call it, of Nerds of Wrestling, one of the greatest pages I've ever been a part of. He also does other pro wrestling interviews very much like I do. So everybody welcome Justin to the stream from Nerds of Wrestling. Justin, what's up, buddy?
Kevin, how are you, man? I love the introduction, bro. Thank you so much.
Dude, it's been too long, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time since
way too long.
But, like you said on another podcast before in your other interviews, you and I feel we have that relationship where if we don't talk for a long certain period of time, we just pick up where
we pick up right where we left off.
No, which is always good.
And what I find really cool about like how similar you and I are, we didn't talk about our interviews. Like we don't say, hey man, who do you got coming on? Who do you got coming on? And this past week, we both ended up interviewing the same wrestler in Reagan Fire.
Nope.
And if you guys missed that interview, I strongly encourage you to check out Wrestling Review Society's YouTube page and check out my interview with Reagan Fire. And then go to Spotify and search Nerds of Wrestling, where you can find Justin's interview with Reagan Fire. 2 amazing interviews, going to give you 2 looks at the same person and really learn a lot more about that amazing, fantastic talent that is Reagan Fire.
Definitely one of the best interviews I ever had, and I interviewed a lot, and she, hands down, she was fantastic.
One of the nicest people ever.
Yeah,
but with that being said, we're going to bring on another person making their return to the Wrestling Review Society live stream, striking fear into the hearts of everybody he comes in contact with, the wood chipper of professional wrestling, Mr. Zach Monstar.
Hello.
Zach, what's up, man?
Sitting at work, listening to you talk and put me over while I eat beef jerky. It's a good day, Kevin. It's a good day.
Is this a good day? Except for that horrible name you have at the bottom of your screen. I
can't help that I speak the truth and you can't handle it. All right.
Well, somebody who
take your time.
Let's go ahead and bring on my third and final guest. You talk about speaking the truth, and whether you agree with it, whether you disagree with it, this is the person who's always going to give you the truth and doesn't care about your feelings. It's like he always says, come with facts, not feelings, because fuck your feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, TikTok's favorite wrestler, Willie Finesse.
You want to look good like me? Gotta holler at Kevin in Wrestling Review Society.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate that, man. So, guys, we're here to talk about NXT Vengeance Day, which is on tonight. It's a pretty stacked card. We got a lot of high stakes matches. And I always like to start out with my overall thoughts. And I'll tell you guys right now, I'll be honest. I watch all of NXT. I don't watch it live because I'm more of an AEW guy. I like watching AEW live. But, out of the three brands of WWE being Raw, SmackDown, and NXT is just head and shoulders above what the other two are doing. And if it was any other brand going against AEW on Wednesday night, AEW would kick the dog shit out of them. Because without NXT, WWE is just a sinking ship at this point. And I know they're not going anywhere, but let's be honest, guys. They're getting really, really stale.
It's really boring.
What are you guys' overall thoughts on NXT and what you expect from Vengeance Day? Let's go to Justin.
I expect nothing less from NXT, as you just said. NXT is the top brand. I personally consider NXT the main roster now, since they have a spot every single Wednesday on USA from 8 to 10.
They're on the same network. They're doing pay-per-views.
Exactly.
I mean, they're the first brand allowing actual crowd back in.
Yeah.
Our good friend Nico Extra, Willie, Nico, Zach, Nico, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not, but Nico Extra is going to be live at Vengeance Day tonight.
Yeah, I know who Nico is.
Okay, cool. So NXT is actually letting fans back in.
Yeah, I love it. I love the setup. When it was first introduced, the new setup, I think it was back in November or October, if I'm not mistaken, for the pay-per-view in October. And I was watching it. I was like, this is dope. This is sick. Why can't Raw and SmackDown do this? I love it. I'm a big fan of the whole setup. I'm a big fan of their virtual fans. NXT is going to be great tonight. I'm excited for the show.
Willie, your thoughts on NXT and what you expect from Vengeance Day?
I mean, I kind of feel like you, but I don't know if everybody feels like me, but I love NXT for the wrestling, but I feel like a lot of the storytelling is slipping a lot. But I'm still expecting for tonight to be amazing. Like wrestling wise, I expect it to be amazing.
Dude, I don't want to jump ahead, but we have Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. How is wrestling not going to be amazing tonight?
Bruiserweight. That's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world.
Zach, anything you want to open up with before we get into the card?
Name one bad NXT takeover.
There's none.
There isn't. You can say whatever you want about wrestling.
If there is, you're going to have to search pretty hard to find it.
You can say whatever you want about wrestling on a weekly basis. You really can. AEW and NXT, they are at the top of their game. There is no denying that when it comes down to it. I would rather watch an AEW product or an NXT product over anything else that is mainstream right now, okay? But when it comes down to those takeovers, NXT don't play. That's why they only put 5 to 6 matches on that card, and they say, hey, go. Do whatever it is that you need to do and go. Have a match. And you can't be mad at that.
I could not agree with this chain anymore. I might flip SmackDown and Impact just because Impact is still kind of finding their feet with all the new talent they have.
I really look confused.
He put Impact. Listen, I agree that SmackDown isn't the greatest, but there's no way SmackDown's better. Impact's better than SmackDown.
Willie, listen, the refs on SmackDown don't know how to count. We all remember Roman and Kevin's. Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah, we remember that.
Impact is great, though. I mean, Impact is fantastic. They're killing it. They really came out of nowhere.
Impact is trying.
You separate Roman and Heyman, Impact instantly becomes better than SmackDown because without Roman and Heyman together,
Roman's killing it. Roman is on fire.
I can see arguments for both sides. But like I said, I would flip Impact and SmackDown in that chain.
Yeah.
But Impact and AEW and NXT are doing amazing things. SmackDown, you take away if they ever decide to separate Heyman and Roman, SmackDown plummets. But
yeah,
guys,
how long do you think though? Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, I've always personally felt that SmackDown was was the better brand to actually watch wrestling.
Right.
Raw is like your storyline and your sagas and your other bullshit that you have to deal with. SmackDown is the one where like you get maybe 3 to 4 matches on a Raw, but on SmackDown you get an 8-match card. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not doing all the other storyline bullshit. Like I feel like SmackDown is that foundation of what WWE products should be, and then they just get lost in translation with what Raw is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, we're talking about showcasing wrestling, and I know you guys are here for the NXT prediction show, and we're going to get into that right after this. But out of all the companies, you know who I think is showcasing wrestling better than any of them? And this is just my opinion. AEW Dark.
Yeah.
They are slamming 13 matches together for an AEW Dark. They are bringing in independent talent. They are bringing in new talent. They are putting people on a grand stage that they've never had the opportunity to do. Guys like Casey Navarro, Rob Ryzen, Red Velvet started out on AEW Dark, and now she's contracted. So I feel like they're really giving opportunities to these independent people. You know, Zach always tells me this thing every time we get together, and it's, you know, without the roots, the tree dies, and the roots of wrestling are the independent scene. And AEW Dark is showcasing the shit out of that.
But to be fair, but this is just to be fair, but people don't watch it, including myself. But I will give it to WWE as much as I still think they're stale too. But they do that too. They still have the 205 lives and the main event little shows, but it's not nothing like AEW Dark though. I will say that. But they try.
I also love
Willie,
how
you were contacted about doing AEW Dark. It's just the traveling wasn't right.
No, it wasn't even the traveling. It was the fact of, all right, this one thing.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it. I knew the real reason. I just wasn't gonna say
it.
It
Was the fact of like, I don't want to go nowhere. If you've ever watched Willie Finesse wrestle, you've never seen me go nowhere, and you've never seen nobody squash me. That's how I feel. If you've never seen nobody squash me, I can't go nowhere for a few $100, a free trip and stuff, and y'all watch me on TV get my ass whooped, and you're like, oh, that's not Willie. That is not the Willie Finesse I know. I want to go be the Willie Finesse I'm supposed to be. That's just my opinion.
See, and that's a good philosophy to have about it. At the same point in time, when they turn around and they go, hey, we want you to get squashed on this. You're going to get 3 minutes. You know what I mean? You don't really get a lot of offense. They want to see how well of a ball player that you are. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? And those boys that they're working on AEW Dark, they're going to give you a little bit of shine. I mean, dude, even Brian Cage, who is as big as, I don't even know, Silverback Gorilla, is still taking some shots here and there. You see what I'm saying? It's not so much that, hey, we're just going to bring you in so that you can get your ass handed to you. It's, hey, we want to see if you're willing to play ball.
Now, that's what it was for me, though. That's what it was. I was literally going to go. I wasn't going to get no.
All right, guys.
None.
So let's go ahead and get into what everybody came here to see, other than myself.
Always being wrong.
Shut up, Zach. I have the mute button. So we're going to go and get into the match card. And like I said, we have a lot of high-stakes matches on this card. You know, the finals of both the men's and the women's Dusty Classic. We have the women's title. We have dude, I'm already calling it match of the night NXT Championship. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd all would agree with that statement. But we're going to go and start with the finals of the women's Dusty Rhodes Tournament. We have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I want to start out by saying this new version of Ember Moon, ever since she came back, is on another level. I think she's hitting her stride. I think she's going to be better than she's ever been. I mean, she's never been bad, but this new Mad Max feel that she's been giving off is absolutely amazing. She's one of my wife's favorite female wrestlers. I'm a huge fan of Shotzi, but I feel like those two are going to be fine without the win. I think a good heel move is giving this win to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and I think they'd make fantastic WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And let's be honest, guys, NXT does not need the Women's Tag Team Championship. The Women's Tag Team Championships need NXT in a bad way. So my pick for this is Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and hopefully they go on to win the titles and bring them back to NXT. Willie, what you got?
Boy, you took my words. Swear. Literally. Word for word. That is exactly how I feel. And I always liked Shotzi, but when she came in that Royal Rumble this year, I was like, oh, she really gonna go. Like, I love Shotzi too. And amazing to look
There's
at.
no lack of talent between anybody in this match. This is going to be a good match and potential to be match of the night. I'm just a sucker for this Pete Dunne and Balor match. But any match on this card has the potential to be match of the night. Let's be honest. If one person slips, they're losing match of the night. The card is that good tonight, guys. But Willie, if you have nothing left, let's go to Zach.
I cannot stand Dakota Kai. I stand by it.
So let's go to Justin.
Quit kicking me off just because you don't like my opinion, Kevin.
Go ahead, Zach. Finish what you were saying, man.
No, I was just saying, like, I've never been a fan of her. It's the same thing with Raquel Rodriguez. Like, she's Gonzalez, yeah. You know, I was thinking of something else.
You're thinking of
Listen. All right? Because the words out of my mouth really want to be Shotzi Blackheart for president. Like, that's where my heart is on that one. Now, looking at this, who are your women's tag team champions right now?
Nia and Baszler.
Isn't it Nia and
Baszler?
We don't use that language on this show.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna do it. Anyways, but no, it's Nia and Baszler. So then you have, like, if you do Dakota Kai, you're gonna have heel versus heel. You see what I'm saying? And it's just that's not a good mashup. If they're gonna actually go forward and actually be able to contend and take those titles, you have to go with Blackheart and Ember. You have to. And Ember is doing better in NXT, and I think it's because they give her a little bit more freedom because she was really watered down in the main stage of everything. You know, under your Becky Lynch's and your Charlotte Flairs and your Sashas, your Baileys, your Ronda Rouseys. Like, Ember is better in NXT because I feel like NXT is more true to the roots than what the other two are. 100%. So if you had to think of like a solid mashup, Shotzi's been holding it down since she's been there. She's an amazing worker. You have Ember, who is also an amazing worker now that she's found out where her groove is. I think those two going on to win, and not only win, but like to take the titles off of them would be a bigger moment than Dakota Kai in them.
I like the heels versus the face dynamic. It always leads to a better story than it is, you know, two teams, both heels trying to do the same heel shit, trying to get the crowd to hate them. So it's a lot easier to get behind a title match when you have that heel versus face dynamic. I get what you're saying. But Justin, what are your thoughts, man?
The last NXT pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken, when was War Games? That was back in like a while ago.
A couple months ago, yeah.
3 months ago.
And Dakota Kai, obviously they won the War Games, right?
Yeah, Raquel won.
So you got to keep that ball rolling. Obviously, you know, War Games was a while ago. They won. That was a big pay-per-view for NXT. I didn't think they were going to win. I didn't have them winning. But Kevin, like you said, Shotzi and Ember will be fine after this if they lose, no matter what. You got to give it to Dakota Kai and Raquel. Raquel are my choice. So
yeah, I got to give some love.
That comment is hilarious.
I gotta give some love to my man Kiefer for this comment. He bleeped out her name.
He bleeped out her name, though.
Oh, this guy.
You could have just put my hole.
I was going to say my hole, but like I didn't know if we were keeping it PG for the kids at home. You know what I'm saying?
That was terrible. That was awful. The whole shit. But Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon will be fine after this. They're not going anywhere. They're not gonna get watered down, or they're not gonna get, you know, buried. Give the win to Dakota and Raquel.
All right, so we got 3 for Dakota and Raquel, 1 for Ember, and Shotzi. But you know, I do agree a lot with what Zach said. Shotzi is amazing. Ember is operating on a completely different level, and I could not agree more with what Zach said. You know, when she went to the main roster, she kind of blended in. She didn't really stand out, and that's no offense to her. It has a lot to do with, you know, all the women being talented. Well, not all of them, but the ones in the main pictures were all talented. You know, your Becky's, your Sashas, your Baileys, your Rondas. And as we've seen a lot, when we get to the main roster, they're very set in their ways. It's those top 5 people, and the title just goes around and around and around. Nobody else really breaks in unless we get a surprise Rumble like we did with Bianca or a surprise Money in the Bank winner. But we've also seen they have a chance to shit the bed with that too. So I do believe that, Ember thrives more on NXT. She has more freedom in NXT. But let's get into the men's Dusty Cup final. And I tell you what I really like about this. We got MSK coming in, who we all know came from Impact.
Mm-hmm.
They were the Rascals.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that I really, really love the fact that NXT decided, we're not automatically going to shit on these guys because they are very talented. They can work an amazing match. MSK, the Rascals, whatever you want to call them, super talented, and it could have been very easy for them to bring them in and just shit on them, make them lose in the first match. Oh, you had your 15 seconds of fame, you were in the tournament, but they've made it to the finals. But unfortunately, in my opinion, this is where it stops. The grizzled young veterans, I can't say enough about how much I love them. I can't say enough about how much I love their style, their ring work, their promos, their facial expressions. They are the total package for what you want in tag team champions. Everybody was sold on the Undisputed Era. I'm more of an Imperium and Grizzled Young Vets kind of style. I love those guys. So I'm going with Grizzled Young Vets in this because I think it is their time. Aside from that UK Tag Team Championship that they had, they've never really had the spotlight. I do think that even though they did pay their dues in another company, I don't think they should come in and automatically get the titles. Grizzled Young Veterans have been doing their thing, keeping the UK brand alive. It's time to give them the recognition they deserve. I'm going Grizzled Young Vets on this. Zach looks like he's just stewing at the bottom. So let's go Justin Willie, save Zach for last because I think he's going to rant a little bit.
I got Grizzled Young Veterans too. They're good. Like you said, they've been carrying the NXT UK brand. So you got to give it to them. On MSK, they came in. They were hot and heavy. I didn't expect them to go this far. Like you said, I thought they were just going to, like I said, get their 15 seconds of fame and that's it. But that's not to take anything away from them. Like they lose this match this year. They'll come back stronger next year and win. So, but I got Grizzled Young Veterans.
Willie?
You know what's crazy is, I've always been more of an NXT than an AEW guy, but I guess last week I was watching AEW because I wasn't watching. I actually thought that Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher were going to win. So I didn't even know that Grizzle was in it, but now I have to play off Zach because I feel like I messed up my first prediction because I wasn't thinking straight. But now I remember that the tag team champions are Lorcan and Burke, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see MSK getting the upset.
To keep with that,
they get a title shot, right?
Yes.
I can see MSK surprising.
I mean, they came in hot. They got a ball of momentum behind them, and
the Grizzly Young Vets are the GOATs. They are fire.
Yep.
Like I said, guys, this match isn't the biggest, but this card is going to be very entertaining. There's not going to be a piss break on this card. There's not going to be a time where you're sitting there not knowing what you want to do. I think this card from start to finish is going to draw your attention. It's going to make you feel something. It's going to make you love wrestling again. And NXT has been doing that very, very well. Let's go to Zach.
I was going to say that NXT always does that. There's no bathroom breaks. There's no boring breaks.
I didn't know your name was Zach.
Sorry.
No, I agree with him though. Like I said earlier when we first started the show, like name one bad takeover where like you wanted to get up or you put it on for background noise. You know what I mean? You started doing something other than what you want than watching the product. You see what I'm saying?
My 7-year-old your ass.
When it comes to this, man, like I'm not gonna go on a rant. I'm not because I don't have anything negative to say about either team. I love Zachary Wentz, dude, and what they're doing. I love what they were doing as the Rascals. I like what they're doing now on NXT. The fact that NXT isn't burying them because they're littler guys and they can see the talent that they actually have and they go, hey, these guys are going to go out there and they're going to put on a fucking show. It can honestly go either way. Like, I agree with Willie because that face versus heel dynamic is way better than heel versus heel. But Grizzled Young Vets have been holding it down. Like they are a good team. There is no denying that. When you look at the caliber of wrestler that you have in this match, like it's going to take one fall, like one slip up for them not to be able to take match of the night. That's what it comes down to. And I hate to say it, but like on the one hand, I want to say Grizzled, but on the other hand, like, do I have to pick? Like, can I just be like, hey man, I like the match. I want to see. I don't even care who wins. I'm more interested in the match. Can I say that?
The fans win. The fans are the ones who win.
Yeah, the fans are gonna win in that. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Team A or Team B, bro. Like, the fans get to enjoy a solid ass match with two different styles. That's the best part about it.
I think that's what's really gonna. And I can't agree with that any more than you know. Me and you, Zach, as close friends we are. You know, me and Willie being as good of friends we are. The three of us have very different styles of what we like. We appreciate all styles of wrestling, but we all like very different stuff. I'm more the traditional guy. Zach, you're more the hardcore guy. Willie, you're flashy. You're in people from your tights to your entrance. You're that flashy guy. You want to catch people's attention. Very different styles. But at the same time, whenever you can have two styles that are so different, but they work together so well, you take guys like me who don't necessarily like that style, but I like the Grizzled Young Vet style. And then you're like, okay, even though I don't like it, I can appreciate it. And I think that's where they capitalize on this, because you do have those two different styles, and people are going to tune in for one certain style, but they're going to end up leaving that match appreciating both styles. And that's how you grow pro wrestling. That's how you grow people's brand. That's how you grow certain styles of wrestling. And this match is going to showcase that better than anything on the card, in my opinion.
This match is going to be like Christmas, bro. Like, after you get done and you open up all your presents and you're like, okay, like, this is awesome, and you're really happy with what you got, and then your mom goes, oh wait, there's one more. Like, that's what we're getting when it comes to this match. And I love the smash mouth brawl style. I really do. Like, it's not so much the hardcore style. It's because you've seen the way I work, and like, you know that it's the realism for me. And there's no taking away from that when it comes to Grizzled Young Vets. But I love that high fly, flashy, aerodynamic, like, let's use our bodies together to create a weapon of mass destruction. And that's what you're going to get out of, you know, FKA the Rascals. Because that's how I know them, and that's how I will continue to know them. I refuse to say their new name.
What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning into the stream. You got myself. You got Justin Del Rio from Nerds of Wrestling. You have two of the best independent wrestlers today, and Willie Finesse and Zach Monster are here giving you our predictions on NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, which does go live tonight. So we're just here talking about some wrestling. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the show. Hit that thumbs up button for us. It really helps us out, and we appreciate it more than you could ever understand.
And if y'all watching on Twitch, send him them free coins you getting every 5 minutes.
Do that. I don't know anything about Twitch, but do what Willie just said.
I'm still learning about Twitch, but because of everybody watching the stream, because of the three of you supporting me the way you do, we did make Twitch affiliate not too long ago, so I'm very stoked about that. My son is very stoked about it, and we're going to be able to give you guys a lot more quality streams and more Twitch exclusives. Like right after this, I'll be going live on Twitch for an exclusive belt review that YouTube's not going to get, Facebook's not going to get. It's just going to be here for the Twitch channel, so you're definitely going to sub to the Twitch channel, and make sure you're watching for that. Thank you guys for shouting out the Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/HeelKevin. Thank you guys so much. With that being said, guys, let's get into, and I hate to call it my least favorite match.
Eat it.
I want to put it in the microwave, actually.
It's Zach, you're the reason for warning labels. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm also the reason for Xanax, but you know, that's a whole other story.
I don't want to call it my least favorite match of the night. I don't want to call any of this my least favorite match of the night, but this is the match I'm least excited for, because one of the competitors in this match, I'm just not sold on. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he can't work. I'm just not sold on him, and just nothing he's done has really grabbed my attention and said, this is the guy. But I'm talking about the North American Championship match between Johnny Gargano and Kushida. I think Johnny's a phenomenal worker. I mean, the matches he had with Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, even though I do think the Tommaso Ciampa storyline ran a little too long, I don't think there was need for that last match because the match they had before that was a banger. And it's one of those things, it's like Zach said, let's go back to the Christmas analogy. Why is Christmas so special? Because you get it once a year. When you start giving us this match between Johnny and Tommaso, which, let's be honest, is always great, but when you get it every single time, it loses a little bit of that flair that makes it so special. Right. But I got Johnny Gargano going over. It's not that I'm not a Kushida fan. I don't like Kushida, and I don't hate Kushida either. He's a wrestler. I appreciate what he does. It's just I don't have an opinion on him one way or the other. And I'm trying to be as fair as I can. I think that's fair to say. He's just done nothing to grab my attention. Not saying he hasn't grabbed other attentions. He just hasn't grabbed mine. So I got Johnny going over in this. Willie, what you got?
I'll be blunt about it. And if y'all want to kill me in the comments, y'all can. Anytime I've watched Kushida on NXT, I've never once been like, oh, wow, he just does, like, he's never done one thing. And I love and appreciate him. I love and appreciate anybody that.
I did love where he snuck in the ring and he was standing in there, but that was more of a comedy spot than it was he's done nothing wrestling-wise to just make me, holy shit, did he really just do that?
I haven't seen one match. I'll say this. I haven't seen one match from him in NXT that I was like, oh, yeah, y'all need to put any title on him. Like, any title. Like, seriously, I haven't, like, any title.
You guys, if you're watching on the Twitch channel, go follow this guy. He is a massive supporter of the show. It would mean a lot to the four of us. Guys, this is how we grow the community. This is how we bring wrestling back into the forefront. This is how we put the spotlight back on independent wrestling, pro wrestling. We support other wrestling creators, other wrestling advocates. Go support all kinds of wrestling creators. Go show this guy some love. Give him a follow. The follows are absolutely free. It costs you nothing. Takes 2 seconds to do. Go follow my boy and let's grow the wrestling community.
Just always remember this, Suplex. And this I have to give you some little piece of harsh criticism too, though. Before you do that, if you want more follower stuff, you have to get and grind for it and keep grinding and keep grinding and keep grinding too. You can't. Yep. I mean, people, we're going to help you too, but you also got to just keep putting in that work.
My man JV tuning into the stream. JV is going to be a moderator as soon as I learn how to make people moderators on my Twitch. JV has supported me from day one. He's been in Twitch since day one. He's in every stream. I mean, the guy really supports wrestling, and he's the reason that we do this stuff. Guys like JV. JV is going to be a moderator of my Twitch channel as soon as I learn.
Last night.
As soon as I learn how to make somebody a moderator, JV is going to be my first moderator. JV, thanks for tuning into the stream. So we're talking about Johnny Gargano versus Kushida. Willie and I gave our opinions. Let's go to Justin, then go to Zach.
I got Johnny. Obviously, Kushida is a phenomenal wrestler. He's great. He does his thing every time he steps into the ring. But I don't see Johnny losing a title. Johnny's retaining.
Johnny makes you believe in the underdogs, whether he's a heel or a face.
Yes.
Johnny's that feel good story, and I can never vote against Johnny.
He's literally like the heart of NXT.
I agree.
100%.
I agree. I love the DIY tag team. I do think that it was time for them to split because they're better apart. Apart, you get 2 great matches. Together, you're going to get 1 good match. But I would love to see a DIY reunion down the line. Maybe 1 or 2 matches or a title run or whatever the case may be. Zach, what you got, man?
This is why you're always wrong.
And this is why I always hold the mute button.
This is why you're still wrong.
This is why I still have the mute button.
You can mute me all you want.
Zach, we can do this all day.
But you're wrong. I got Johnny, man. I really do. I have watched. I like watching Kushida as a wrestler, as a worker. You don't just watch wrestling the same way that you would as a fan. I don't know if Willie can agree with me on that, but like,
facts. No, you're right.
It's almost like tape study. You know what I mean? You're not just watching yourself where you messed up anymore. Now you're watching everything on a product level where you're studying how they do it. And a lot of the times, man, when I'm watching wrestling, I'm looking for something that's just different and unique. And like, I've never gotten that from him, man. When it comes down to it, I think the best thing that he did while in the industry so far in NXT was when he was teaming with Alex Shelley. That's it. Other than that,
Alex.
Huh?
I was more supporting that because of the Shelley. Like, I love Alex Shelley, and I
Same.
think that's kind of what you were getting along the lines of. Sorry, I had a belt sale going on. I had to take care of that really quick, so I
No,
apologize.
no, you're good. You're
Get that
good.
money.
But
Um, but yeah,
like
Shelley
Alex,
made it interesting. Without Shelley, I
no,
don't know.
I agree with that. I agree with that 110% because when he had Shelley next to him or in the ring with him, it gave you something to watch. It was the charisma. It was more entertaining. Let's get down to brass tacks when it comes down to it. Johnny Gargano, Johnny is Mr. Takeover. There's no taking that away from him. It's like Shawn Michaels with Mr. WrestleMania. Every time there's a takeover, the reason why Johnny is there is not just because he's a good worker, it's because you know you were going to get an A+ USDA approved quality match from him. It doesn't matter who he's working, you're going to have a great match. So when it comes down to it, like Johnny all day long.
Yeah, 100%.
And DIY was fantastic, and they never should have broke up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm more.
They were fire, but
DIY is great. It's just I feel like we get more as wrestling fans
You
with them
do.
apart than we do them together. Not saying I don't want to see them together because I would like to see them. When the Dusty Cup comes up, let them join up for the Dusty Cup. Let them run in the Dusty Cup. If they elimination. You guys remember when we had the tag team elimination chamber? If a surprise entrant was DIY, how hard would you pop?
No, exactly. Like, I understand like where you're coming from. I would like to see a DIY reunion now. Like that's what I would like to see because you look at the tag teams that are out there, and man, if you look back at like the DIY like I tag team run, it really wasn't anything special. Like it wasn't like they had that one banger match with the Revival at the point in time when they won the titles, but after that, like it wasn't anything like super memorable. Like they did the show in Japan against Tajiri and stuff, but like it just wasn't what it could have been. But now that you put both of them in the spotlight where they've both taken their craft, they've learned how to play the game, and they separately are amazing workers, put them in a tag team now and let them go out there with some of the top talent in NXT, dude. It'd be a banger.
Yeah.
It would be a banger.
I agree.
100%.
So we're gonna get into one of two of the brand championships, or one of two of the brand championships that we have. We have the women's championship match, the NXT women's championship match being Io Shirai, the champion, versus Toni Storm versus Mercedes Martinez. I want to save myself for last on this because I'm about to piss one of you off on this screen.
Damn right, you about to piss me off.
So Willie, let's start with you, man.
Oh, he knows he's back. Oh, he knows what he's gonna do. I know. Oh, let me get this out. But honestly, my honest God opinion is I felt like the triple threat was kind of just thrown together fast. Not really storytelling, not really much to be super. Not saying it's not gonna be a great because these are three great, way above average wrestlers to me. But I can see I want Toni Storm to win that title bad. I want her. She just got the charisma. She's got the look. She looks great, of course. You know what I mean? She literally has it all, and her wrestling is immaculate to me. I mean, she could get better, but I'm rolling with Toni.
Zach? Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Trying to think of a diplomatic way to say this. I like Toni. I do. Even though her action figures aren't, articulately correct. But I really
agreed.
Anyways. I like Toni. I do. I think that damn it, man. So I'm not like the biggest fan of Io Shirai. She's the
Yep.
I'm not crazy. Okay, I just wanted to double check. With the unsafe moonsault. Yeah, you double check it. If you're gonna have a finisher, at least know how to do it. I got you. Willie was mad.
No, she screws up on the moonsaults. I'll give you. I'm not gonna lie on that.
So Tony came back, and like you haven't really seen her do much of anything. You really haven't. And even when she was the UK champion, she really wasn't doing much of anything. If you really, it's so hard to explain, dude. But like, I want Mercedes Martinez. Damn it, that girl has worked for it. I love her to death, and she's just a hell of a worker. She can talk, she can walk. She has what it takes to be in the center spotlight, and it just. Think about how far she made it in the Dusty Classic, like not the Dusty, but the Mae Young Classic. Sorry. Think about like the matches that she put on. She went in there with anybody and everybody and worked them and had fantastic matches, dude.
And Toni Storm didn't?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when it came down to it, I would just rather see Mercedes Martinez than Toni running around with something that could possibly cover something that is just nice to look at.
JV, it's a lot of fun. As fun as it is for you to watch, it's a lot of fun for me to do it. JV says the best thing about Kevin's stream, aside from enjoying it, is watching him kick somebody off screen. It's a lot of fun. That's why I like being the host, is because I have that mute button.
Same. When I'm a host, I just mute and kick people off.
JV, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It means more to me than you'll ever know. Thank you so much for any kind of support. Like Willie said earlier, dropping those channel points, dropping those bits, dropping those subs, all of that is much appreciated. But your guys' views and support means that the absolute world to me. Willie, what you got?
Can I ask you? So whenever you do the belt review, this is random. But when you do the belt review, so I can host on my channel to get. That's what I'll try to do it for you too.
I appreciate that, man. So Justin, let's go to you, and then I'll round things out on the women's championship match. Then we're going to get into the one we've all been waiting to talk about.
Toni. I got Toni winning. Io's fantastic. Mercedes fantastic. Io's had that title for a long time. I want to see Toni win. I want to see Toni. I mean, I think it's time to drop it. So I got Toni winning. So I got Toni Storm winning tonight.
You know, a lot of things go into this decision for me. One being she has held it a very long time. She's had it since In Your House. So I do think it's time for a change. I do think that there are other – Io has done nothing to elevate the title. She's done good at sustaining it. I don't think she's elevated it at all. That's just my opinion. And I got to go with what Zach said, and I've said this since day one. The unsafe moonsault. Go back to In Your House when she won the title. The match wasn't supposed to end in that spot. It wasn't. Rhea was knocked out because her knees came directly down on the top of Rhea's head, and Rhea was out cold. Charlotte couldn't break the figure 8 in time. She got the pin. It was Io's night, but it wasn't supposed to end right there. And if you go back and watch, you can see Rhea get legitimately knocked out. She has consistently missed that moonsault, landing on the knees, landing on the face, barely hitting at all. Very rarely does she ever hit midsection to midsection. So do I think she deserved a title run? Yes. Do I think it should have lasted this long? No. Do I think she should have beaten the people that she's beaten? No. My pick for this is Toni, although I do think Mercedes Martinez is a very good choice either way. As long as the title comes off Io, I'm going to be happy. Willie, Io might be the best wrestling figure, but she ain't the best wrestling wrestler. Okay, let's just call it what it is.
Take away the moonsault, though. Take away the moonsault.
Take away the moonsault.
I'm fixing that. That is unfair of me to say. She is a phenomenal wrestler. Phenomenal. Take away that moonsault, I like her more. Learn how to do the moonsault, I like her more. But like I said, the ratio of landing that moonsault midsection to midsection as opposed to being off, and Willie and Zach, you guys know this better than anybody. Me and Justin, we're just podcasters. We own wrestling pages. We're fans of wrestling. You guys are workers. You guys are in the business. You guys are getting in the ring every time. One wrong mistake, your career is done.
Facts.
One wrong move, one misjudgment. So for you to know that you have missed that thing time and time and time again and still willing to go do it is careless to me, and you're putting people in danger that because let's be honest, those knees to the top of the head could have broken her neck,
could kill her.
Could
Do you
Exactly.
remember? We're just gonna do like a throwback really quick. Do you remember when Billy Kidman kneed the shit out of Chavo with the shooting star?
Yes.
Scariest thing you'd ever see. And man, I talked to Ricochet at I ended up talking to Ricochet at an Evolve show that was down here in Tampa. And my brother ended up asking him a question like, "Hey man, how do you protect them so well on like the shooting star, the 450, everything that you do off the top rope that high impact?" He's like, "How do you protect yourself and protect them?" And Ricochet's exact words were, "I land on them." He was like, "I'm not going to sit here and blow out my elbows, my wrists, my knees by trying to protect them when, everything else I do, I try to make sure that they are safe with." So when it comes down to it, like, this is the mentality of a lot of workers. If you're doing something off the top rope, it's, I can try to protect you, or I can protect myself and continue my longevity in my career. Anytime you ever get into a top rope scenario, you're running that risk. You really are. So the fact that risk is even more elevated when you're doing something off the top rope, you need to make sure that you're at least hitting it where you need to hit it. Not any random part of the body or however you flip. How many times have you seen Lita miss that moonsault and land on somebody's head? It's the same thing with Kurt Angle, dude, or Christopher Daniels. How many times has Jeff Hardy alone bodied somebody on that swanton because he caught lower back and not upper back? Shit's dangerous.
It is, and one of the biggest, I think one of the biggest mistakes in wrestling, and Willie and Zach, you guys can attest to this, is that stutter step, not committing, being unconfident in yourself. Should I do this? Should I not do it? If there's ever a second of doubt in you, you shouldn't fucking do it. And the thing is, and I know wrestlers know this, but sometimes their actions don't show that they know it. We've all heard it many times before. Your actions speak louder than your words. If you are not 100% convinced that you can do something, then you should be 100% convinced that you can't do it. And not only that, let's take away injury and the sloppiness of it. It comes down to believability. If a moonsault lands on someone's toes and they get a 3 count, you've taken away from that title. You've taken away from that person because you buried them by hitting their toes. You buried them by the move. You buried the move. You have done nothing. Like I said, you have done nothing to elevate yourself, your finisher. There's no reason to believe that is a dominant, destructive finisher, much like Goldberg's done with the jackhammer in the last 5 years. It's not believable anymore. Scratch the moonsault, and I'm a much bigger EO fan. But as of where it sits right now, I think Tony is operating on a much more believable level, and I think it's got to be Tony. And this is why I think it was so great for Tony to lose in the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Women's Classic against Casey and her partner. One, because they haven't really gotten a push, and it showed them getting a win over 2 dominant people, so it did great for them, and it opened up Tony and her to have this match and make the title mean something.
And that loss didn't bury Tony either. It didn't
hurt
her stock or nothing.
No.
See, and I agree with everything Kevin just said, dude. I spent months learning and perfecting how to do the double stomp off the top rope. And I must have spent 6 months trying to safely learn how to hit that diving headbutt.
That's all wrestling, bro. Did you not see what Matt Hardy just done? Nobody said that when Matt Hardy almost killed himself.
Nah, bullshit.
The fans did, but AEW.
Okay.
I got you. He's trying to just pinpoint WWE, but you will hold wrestling accountable for injuries. You hold all wrestling accountable. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. No, I agree. When you love something, you
made a point. I want to ask Zach if he's, maybe because I feel like me and him got a lot of similarities when we think, what I'm saying, because he's a strong thinker for himself. When people do something in wrestling, like because Kevin gave me this, to talk about. When somebody does something like gives you a shitty move that doesn't look real, do you sell it like I do too? I'm not selling for nothing crappy.
If you miss me on a shot, if you give me a shitty move that you don't connect with and it doesn't look believable, no, No,
Or is
I'm
it no
going to no sell the shit out of you. I'm going to get up and like my character allows me to laugh. That's the beautiful thing about being the crazy devil boy. All right. I get to laugh. And if you try to put me down with something that A, feels like shit, looks like shit, and you don't connect, when I get up, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to no sell it. I'm going to laugh at you.
Quick story time. I've never been to a Willie Finesse live show. It's on a bucket list. To this day, it hasn't happened. Zach, I've seen you wrestle live countless times. I was at a show where Zach was on the card, and this is before me and this is actually the day me and Zach met. I'm watching Zach's match. Him and his partner are him. And you guys were in a tag team match. I can't remember exactly who you were facing. It was before CJ. It was the time. No, it was before you used my kid as a weapon. But anyway, so Zach is in the middle of a match, and this guy throws an elbow. And I mean, the distance between Zach's face or Zach's chin and this elbow, I mean, at least this wide. Clear from all four sides. There was no blind spot on this. You could clearly tell he missed. And Zach just headbutts him right to the jaw. Like, no sells the move and just headbutts the dog shit out of him. And I was like, yep. Okay, I'm hooked now because Zach, you guys have seen Zach's entrance on my TikTok, on my Facebook, all that stuff. Zach's entrance from the time he comes out draws you in, and it really does. From the music to everything else, it really draws you in. So I was invested in this match already, and the people Zach was working were a little sloppy. Zach, I've been very open about this, and Zach will always come up to me and he's like, "Kevin, what'd you see?" Because he knows I'm not just watching the match to watch the match. I'm dissecting the match as it goes along. He'll always ask me, what did you see? And I'll tell him and we'll have a conversation about it. And I've told him, Zach, you had an off night. Zach, you can tell you were nursing an injury. I'm very blunt when it comes to him. That's why he asks me. And I told him, I was like, I was very iffy on how you were going to go about this. But when I seen you no sell that miss and headbutt the shit out of him, because before this we had a hardcore match where the two ladies were missing by a mile and they were selling the shit out of it. So I already had a bad taste in my mouth about it. And I was like, okay, here we go again. This is another promotion where the wrestlers aren't trained, where they don't know what they're doing. He's going to, oh, shit. He didn't know. He no-sold it, and he smacked it. I'm telling you, Willie, there was no clap on the thigh or nothing. When he headbutted this motherfucker, you heard it through the first three rows. It was awesome. It was awesome.
And that's one thing I'll give, I like to give other wrestlers credit and props, and I want to learn, when you look, even when you look at Zach, like I've seen a few of his videos on TikTok, but when you look at him, like just look at him now, he look like he draws you in. He's got to look like, dang, I want to see what he does. Like I want to, he's got the captivating look. He can captivate somebody. I wish I had that.
Dude, you got to see the full entrance, him and his partner. It's great because his partner kind of summons him from the dead, and then you got this 6-foot devil mask wearing guy comes out. He blows the vape through his mat. It's captivating. It really is. And I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. I mean, I felt this way about his work before we were friends. But it's absolutely amazing to watch. But guys, it is that time. It is that time we dive into the creme de la creme of the night, the main event of the night, the match that is going to destroy the show tonight. We have the current reigning NXT champion, Finn Balor, going back to the Prince, being what made him who he is, versus the master of body manipulation, the master of the facial expressions, a fantastic wrestler, Pete Dunne. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne, NXT Championship. I'm excited. You guys are excited. Let's start with Justin, and then we'll just go from there.
I got Pete Dunne. I got Pete Dunne beating Finn Balor tonight. It's going to be that's not taking anything away from Finn Balor. Finn Balor is a phenomenal wrestler. I'm so happy he went back to NXT because he's doing so much better than he was on the main roster. He's killing it. He's doing his thing. He's does his thing every night. He does what he has to do. But I think it's time for him to drop the title just for a little bit, and I got Pete Dunne.
I have seen it. It's pretty great.
Where the midget stunned me.
Guys, if you are using your channel points, thank you so much. I'm on a third-party streaming app. So that way I can invite these guys on. I'm not watching on the Twitch channel. So if you are sending those channel points, thank you so much. If you're sending bits, subs, whatever, thank you. But at the end of the day, the fact that you're watching, that means the most to me. Thank you guys so much. Zach, what you got for Pete Dunne and Balor?
Pete Dunne. Dude, I am the biggest Pete Dunne fan. I love watching him work, the way that he tells his story, the body manipulation. Are you okay, Willie?
I don't know. We might have to battle for that. The biggest Pete Dunne fan. I don't know.
I've got the bear tattooed onto my kneecap. Try me.
You win. You win. You win.
All right. When push comes to shove, dude, like Pete Dunne, from the moment that he came onto NXT, I've watched him from the indies growing into who he is today. From the moment he came onto NXT, I was hooked. I was hooked. I was a fan, dude. I was a fan beforehand. I was an even bigger fan when he came in. When they did that lineup and he ran across the fucking stage and blasted, dude, those elbows, the joint manipulation, the way that he works. Tyler Bate and him had a classic when he won that title, and they threw it down. There's nothing that I've seen on major TV that can hold a candle to what those two did. I love Finn. Finn, I feel like I love a lot of wrestlers. Jesus. Finn is amazing. He really is. I've been a Finn fan since he was the friend. But the problem is
No.
Freaking
no. I was just about to say that. The problem with Finn is when he was on the main roster, he had a great push coming out the gate. He really did. He won the Universal title. He was the first winner. He got that shoulder injury. And since that shoulder injury, he's been he falls into the Ember category. He was so watered down. There wasn't much that you ever saw from Finn that was like, damn, this reminds me of old Finn Balor.
Everybody in the chat a goat for supporting the show. Everybody on the screens a goat for supporting the show. We're just a herd of goats right now, guys. Thank you all so much.
Goatness, son, goatness. Anyways, but man, having Finn back in NXT, it was cool. It was a solid nostalgia point for me because like I love watching Finn in NXT. I felt that's when he was at his very best. But he still shows that WWE Raw mentality to him when it comes to his work ethic. And I think that realistically in this matchup, if he walks in with that mindset, if he walks in doing that same stick that he always does, Pete Dunne's going to eat that boy alive. And I want to see a bitter end with a 1-2-3 with Pete Dunne as the next champ. I do have this weird fantasy in my head that Edge is going to go after the NXT championship just because, like, that's.
I was saving it.
I want to see that.
I would like to see it. And when it comes down to it, who's going to have a better match with Edge? You're going to have Finn, who works that WWE criteria, that Raw SmackDown criteria. And then you have Pete Dunne, who is NXT UK, like he's the heart, dude. And he's a workhorse. It's either one is going to be a good matchup, but me personally, like, if Edge is going to go after the NXT title, I want to see him go after Finn because you know as well as I do, whoever he faces, he's going to take the title from. And if I'm looking for longevity-wise, I'd like to see Pete Dunne take the title and actually run with it and do something with it.
Right.
Make it mean what he did for the NXT for the UK championship.
Willie?
I agree. Like he's like the only thing I don't like about being on here with y'all three is y'all three are like geniuses and y'all are very smart when it comes to this. So when I say something, it's already going to rub off because somebody already said it. But literally, I wasn't like I knew.
Willie makes his money by picking apart opinions. So when he actually talks to people who look into stuff and not just jumps to conclusions, there's not much for him to pick apart, and I think it irritates him a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It pisses me off for real. But I seen a little bit of Pete Dunne and what's it called? It's called Progress Wrestling. Progress.
Dude, Progress.
Progress.
Yeah, I seen a little bit of him there, but I swear the moment, and it's crazy that Zach said this, the moment I became a Pete Dunne fan, and it's almost like a fanboy when it comes to him. It's when he hit. I want to say it was Danny Burch is who he hit in when he hit him, and then just the way he comes out, the way he just has that little small grin. He's the most, to me, he's the most realistic looking wrestler when it comes to making something look like, damn, that look like that hurts. Man, that looks good. Or even when he's on the defense and he's getting beat up, it looks so real. Like him and Tyler Bate, especially when I feel like they was in Chicago or something when they had that match or something like that. Yep. But when they was there, like when I watched that match, that was the first time I've ever watched a match besides Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at 25 that I literally watched 10 times in a row. Literally, I would just rewind it. Sometimes I would just keep rewinding it just so I can hear Pete Dunne's music hit and just watch. Like it's just like he's one of them captivating people to me. And I pray to the lords, to the wrestling gods above, that he wins tonight.
So I'm at that moment where I am torn between what I want to happen and what I think is going to happen. We've all kind of hit that crossroads at some point, and I think we're kind of there right now. So let me go ahead and tell you what I think is going to happen, and then I'm going to tell you what I want to happen. I think Balor is going to retain. I think Finn Balor is going to retain. I want Pete Dunne to win. Everybody always, people who enjoy wrestling, people who truly enjoy wrestling and don't just watch it to see who the champion is and go for the champion and stuff like that. People who truly love wrestling love Pete Dunne. You will not find a single person who claims they love pro wrestling that doesn't at least like Pete Dunne. And let's be honest, he was one of the longest reigning champions with the UK title, but what did they do with that UK title? Let's be honest, guys. As beautiful as that belt is, as much of a banger of a match that it was when he won it, I mean, did anybody really remember the UK title? Does anybody really remember that he was one of them?
Pete Dunne had it?
No, yeah. But they did a horrible job of showcasing it.
I don't think so.
They did, but if you look back at any of his title matches, dude, I have watched every single one of Pete Dunne's title matches 3 times over.
His title match with Roderick Strong made me love Roderick Strong again.
Him and Roderick Strong. What was it? Him versus the dude from the Grizzled Young Veterans. I want to say Gibson, but I could be wrong.
Zach Gibson.
Who is it?
Zach Gibson.
Thank you. I wasn't 100% sure. Dude, like that match was solid. The storytelling aspect. Pete Dunne is one of those workers that he's the one that reminded me that you have to work a damn body part.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't see it nowadays. Charlotte comes out here, she'll do one thing to the knee, and the next thing you know, she'll do one or maybe 2 things to your entire ground base, and then she throws on that figure 4. But like Ric Flair used to dissect you. You shouldn't have been able to walk on that shit by the time Flair was done. And it's the same thing with Pete Dunne. There is no reason whatsoever for Pete Dunne to have a submission finish and not work that body part. And he doesn't just work the body part. He finds different ways to work it. You'll never see the same thing in every single match except for the finger snap.
So let me go and let me build this for you guys, because this is why I want Pete Dunne to win. Whoever wins tonight will more than likely, well, they're not involved in Elimination Chamber, so whoever wins tonight is going to WrestleMania as the NXT champion. Mm-hmm. Edge holds the Royal Rumble victory. Edge gets to choose his own champion that he wants to face. Last year, we saw Charlotte Flair kind of break down a wall and challenge for the NXT title and putting the NXT title in WrestleMania.
That was because of Rhea Ripley, wasn't it?
It was. But listen, when you have a match going to WrestleMania, when you want to advance a title, when you want to elevate a title, when you want a title to mean something, you need to build a match around it that can support it. You need to have that match that's going to captivate the masses, that's going to draw you in, that's going to make you say, holy shit, where did that 45 minutes go? That match was amazing. And what I want to see on a WrestleMania stage to grab the attention of all the fans is the most believable professional wrestler in Pete Dunne versus the most believable storyteller in Adam fucking Copeland being Edge. Edge is the most believable storyteller versus the most believable professional wrestler being Pete Dunne. You put those two in a match, you are going to sell out any WrestleMania, any Wrestle Kingdom, any All Out, any All In. It doesn't matter what the fucking event is. You put and I challenge anybody to, or I beg anybody to challenge me on this, being the most believable wrestler in Pete Dunne with the joint manipulation, with working the body part, with buying you in, with selling you in, with doing something that seems so little, and then by the end of the match you realize why he did everything he did, versus the most believable promo artist / storyteller in the game today being Edge. maybe if not Edge, maybe Cody, but definitely Edge in my opinion.
Edge.
You put those two together, how do you not sell out? How do you not make money?
Edge is the only person I've ever seen cut a promo on WrestleMania and made me believe that The Undertaker was really about to lose. He made me truly believe. And then when he cut that promo for the Royal Rumble, that was the first time I was like, dang, he's too good that I know he's going to win. Like, that's how good he is.
Like, does anybody disagree? Most believable wrestler versus most believable storyteller.
No, you got that.
I don't disagree.
You have that. And that's if it happens. Like, that's the biggest if, man. And I'd love to see it happen.
But that's the problem, man. It's right at their feet. It's right in front of their face, and we know they're not going to do it. Like I said, this is what I want, but I think Balor's going to win. And don't get me wrong, I think Balor and Edge will have a banger of a match. But the money, the stakes, the elevating the title, the advancing the company, the building the brand is all over Pete Dunne versus Edge. And just that small encounter between Edge and Dunne when Edge showed up on NXT, I would have shrugged my shoulders like that too 10 years ago, kid.
If
the writing is on the wall.
And I'm saying this on here, and you know I'm not like this most super AEW guy. We all know this, right? But if WWE wants any, and I mean any shot to get people to view NXT more than AEW, you better put Edge over.
And that's why I think Edge is going to win the title, is to draw viewers away on the Wednesday Night Wars.
You do that, but like at the same point in time, at the end of that NXT, you saw Karrion Kross, who is another badass dude in that ring, dude, who had all the momentum, and then he got hurt. And now that he's coming back, he's gaining that momentum again. But I could see Karrion versus Edge.
I can too. That'd be great too.
I could see Cross versus Edge, and it would be fantastic. There's so many possibilities, and Edge has said it flat out. I want to work with the younger talent. I want to propel the younger talent. I want to work with the younger talent. Who better to do that than Edge in NXT?
Yeah. 100%.
And that man came back injured and still full time. That man's a GOAT.
100%.
He's a little winded, but you know.
The hair's thinning a lot. He needs to go and cut that hair. I'm an Edge fan, but that hair has got to go.
Oh yeah, he thinning up there in the noodle. Yeah, he thin.
Yeah, that hair's thinning pretty bad. I love Edge to death. Edge is one of my favorites. I mean, shit.
One of the Young Bucks need to go ahead and let it go too.
Hey,
nah, one of the Young Bucks is bald and bad.
I don't care. You bald. How you like that?
Oh,
yeah, I know it. Hey, your mind better than mine. I ain't feeling that.
So guys, this has been the prediction show for NXT TakeOver. Before we sign off, before we get out of here, guys, is there anything you guys want to say about this show or anything that we haven't covered? Let's just take the last couple minutes to hang out, BS. Anything that you haven't said that you want to say? Zach, I can see you chomping at the bit to talk, so let's start with Justin.
No. I mean, I don't have anything to say about the show. It's gonna be a banger. NXT, like we said, never disappoints. So it's gonna be no exception.
It'll be here probably Wednesday. I should have the new Edge title when I go live for NXT reactions with my son. It'll definitely be here next week. I'm thinking around Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice, man.
Willie, anything you want to say that we haven't said already?
No, I just hope that what somebody said on here happens. Like, regardless of whoever wins the main event, I hope Edge comes out, spears them, because I feel like tonight is the night. Tonight is that night that I got the feeling that something big has to happen. Not it just title changing wise, you know what I mean? But other than that, I want to say, man, make sure everybody that's watching this, man, make sure y'all support these three guys, man. These are like three, and these are three guys I've never met for real in real life, but I know that these are three hardworking guys and three guys who really give a damn about what they're doing and really support these guys. Like, they really truly deserve that, y'all.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, Zach, you wanted to speak. The floor is yours.
You a piece of shit, and I hate you. No, I have one more prediction. I have one more prediction match that I want to see happen, and I want to know your opinions on it, the three of you.
Hey, Zach.
The sign on the door say bathroom. No,
That's in
actually,
privacy.
it's a private.
Yeah, it's in privacy.
I'm in my office.
Well, I can see where he would make that assumption because all Zach's opinions are shit.
And this is why you're always wrong. Bye. I thought you were gonna mute me. Okay. I have one last prediction. I want to know this matchup. Willie Finesse versus me.
Let's do it. I would do it. I would do it.
Bro,
it'd be two different captivations because you're a big badass. You know what I mean? And I'm just like
Real Pro. I am the voice of Real Pro. You may know a thing or two, and Real Pro's got some big shows coming up. Real Pro's got some big shows coming up.
I promise I would do it, man.
Like,
if I didn't respect him and really feel like he's captivating and watch, I would dead tell you no, right here. I'm like,
guys, if you want Zach Monstar versus Willie Finesse, light the comment section up right now.
He's gonna kill me.
Zach versus Willie. Let us hear it right now. I will have that live on the Twitch channel. I'll have it live on the YouTube. I will set my whole setup up while you guys are in the ring. I'll produce the shit out of it. If you guys want Willie versus Zach, let us know in the comment section right now.
And Willie, when I say this, I don't mean in a hardcore or death match or any of the dumb shit. I mean just me and you going out there, no time limit, and just going.
I would love to wrestle him for real though. That would be so cool for real, and I would do that.
Willie, you gotta die.
Don't just try to pick me. Listen, I love.
Do you guys not see this comment section?
Y'all know I'm doing giveaways today. Don't just try to pick me because this dude is a badass. Y'all got to give him the set. Y'all got to listen before you try to pick me. This is what I would say. I respect y'all opinions, I'm being so serious. But if you haven't watched his work, if you haven't watched what he does, you can't have an opinion unless you know what you're talking about. And I love y'all, but you got to watch the videos. Look them up, and you'll see for yourself. It would be a banger.
Willie, you remember that podcast that we did where me and Bud went back and forth and we really told our opinion? You remember that time he was saying, "Oh, you busted my friend open and you didn't even care." Kevin, can you pull that up real quick? Can you pull up that picture I sent you last night?
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. I'll go ahead and pull it up.
Thank you. It popped up on my timeline, and I sent it to Kevin just to send it to Kevin because I thought it was funny still. But since we're talking about it, I think that it would just be great for you to see it for what it is.
You spelled his name wrong.
You did spell it.
I can't find him.
Everyone's typing in ZKY.
We need that, man. We got to get
enough. You Kevin, think you know how to spell it.
10K. We need that money.
There it is. But yeah, I said
talk amongst yourselves, not leave dead airspace.
I wasn't. We were talking. Anyways. No, dude, I think when push comes to shove, I love working new people, and I love working with people that I've never got to wrestle before. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of this business, man.
Yes.
If you wrestle the same 5 guys your entire lifetime, how good are you? How good can you say that you are? You're better than those 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to it, I've seen your stuff. Kevin has mentioned your stuff. I went on YouTube to find your stuff. I
appreciate that.
I think personally, me and you could have one hell of a banger, dude.
Do it.
I do too, because it's the difference of you'll be tossing me around, you know what I'm saying? You'll be doing badass, and then I'll have to be doing my slick evade. Yeah, it'll work. It'll actually work.
We would have so much damn fun, and at the very end of it, we would walk back to the back and just be like, "That was great. That was fantastic."
And then hopefully they want rounds 2 and 3, and we really can make a draw.
And then we all go to Denny's after. Then we all go to Denny's after.
Y'all, come on, for sure.
All right, Willie, you ready to see this knee?
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Fuck.
God.
Them knees are real. Them knees are real, damn it. Nah, man.
Hey, it happens like that sometimes. You feel me? Sometimes stuff happens like that. But it be like that.
And it's the same thing, bro, I pride myself on my realism. I really do. And when push comes to shove, if you've been fading the entire match, I'm coming I'm coming, and it's gonna be bad. Like,
if y'all see this, Zach will tear. If y'all see what the people were in the match was doing to the little dude, imagine what he's going to do to him.
Zach, you want to tell them what one of your favorite moves to do is?
which one? The curb stop?
Look at the comment, and then you'll know which one I'm talking about.
Zach versus Midget. The baby cutter.
Hey, but that's what. Hey, but if I did, that's exactly how I would want him to wrestle me, though. If you got to knee me and make it hurt, I'd rather you knee me and make it hurt than you knee me and it looks crazy.
Dude, I like working like that, and a lot of these boys, they don't. They're very like, oh, don't hit me, don't touch me. But I worked Funny Bone, and I haven't got to work like that in a hot minute. So like, I got to work Funny Bone, and everything he threw was stiff. Like, I sent Kevin the video, and he was just like, "Why is he hitting you like he owes you back, child? Like, what the hell?" He did. He hit me like I owed him 7 years child support. It was fucked up, Willie. It was all fucked up.
Look, I'm getting excited because I know, and I'm not trying to cut Zach off, but I know if this match ever happens, it's going to happen in a real pro wrestling ring. I'm the real pro wrestling ring announcer. I'm going to be there front and center. I'm going to get to see two guys that have become really good friends with, two guys that I look up to, and we're going to watch a hell of a match. And Zach, I know you guys produce your own stuff on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure I can get a one-match pass to produce the shit out of this match, promote the shit out of it, put it all over TikTok, all over Facebook, all over YouTube, all over Twitch, and then we're gonna have our version of Ride Along when we're all sitting at Denny's talking about the match and shit. That's gonna be awesome.
I really do, for real. Like, it sounds crazy, but I like, because when somebody say stuff like this, it'll seem like we're lying.
Really, don't even book a hotel. We already got a room for you.
But I know for a fact that, for real, we would have a good ass match, for real. I know it.
When push comes to shove, bro, like, I own Real. So I just wanted to see how you felt about it before I was like, hey, so now that you're on board, hit me up. Let's talk about it. I'll throw you some dates. You tell me what works. And before the end of 2021, Willie Finesse versus the Human Horror Show, Zach Monstar.
And guess what? Regardless, for the people that's watching, regardless if I lose, regardless if he loses, y'all win. I promise.
I was just about to say the same thing.
The first time I ever talked to this dude, he said, and this is what stuck with me. He said, he was talking. I was like, this guy right here, from the start of that bell, he's literally all wrestlers, and it's sad to say, and a lot of wrestlers, all wrestlers do not give you 100%. They don't. A lot of places they do not. They want to take the easy shortcuts. They want to know. I want to walk out of a building. Every time I walk out of a building, I want people to be like, "Oh, wrestling is real." That's what I want them to know, because it is real.
It is, dude. We tear up our bodies, and like, I can't stand those prima donna workers. I can't.
Me neither.
The ones that come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm just here for a payday."
Bro, I don't want to take bumps or even remotely something. Man, suplex me on the floor, dude.
No, I'm getting excited. Justin, all right, hold on. We're going to get back to Willie and Zach, but Justin, sitting back as two fans, hearing these guys talk about it, are you buying into this? Are you excited for this? Because I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I want to see it.
Willie, you said there's wrestlers out there who say, I know you guys are wrestlers. Obviously, you guys heard some crazy stories. Kevin and I, Kevin does a lot. But I'm just a fan. I go to shows, but I think I do a lot in the wrestling business as well. But like, is there really people?
Don't underplay what you do, Justin. No, don't underplay what you do. You have built a. Nerds of Wrestling is a bigger platform than Wrestling Review Society. You have more members than I do, and you are taking a spotlight and putting on independent wrestlers who don't get that spotlight otherwise. Don't underplay what you do. You bring a very valuable asset to the world of pro wrestling, independent wrestling. So don't underplay what you do in the slightest bit.
Answer this question, Justin. We know I was a little popular before TikTok. We know that, right? But who was the person that gave me my first ever podcast? Who was it?
Me.
All right then.
Is there really wrestlers who go, "Oh no, don't suplex me. Oh no, don't kick me. Oh no, don't."
They will be like,
"Oh, I don't want to take a bump."
There's a wrestler right now getting a massive payday next weekend who refuses to take a bump, and the owner is paying him.
Who?
If you ever look on my TikTok, when you see me get suplexed on the floor, when you see me get suplexed on the hard floor with no match, when you see me diving out and then dude catch me and Michinoku driving me, or me get double stomped to the floor, I'll be calling all those spots because I want it to be real.
I know a worker to this day who refuses flat out. She says she She says, "Don't chop me, don't punch me, don't kick me." I knew a worker.
What kind of wrestling match you want to be in?
I knew a worker that at one point said, "Hey, I can punch, I can kick, and I can chop, but you can't slam me because I got a bad back." I know workers who feel like they had a good match because they only took one bump in that match. And me personally, I will bump all fucking day for you. Just in December, I worked somebody that was half my size taking power bombs and German suplexes. Just because he was a little dude who gets shit on constantly because he is little. And I was like, fuck that, we gonna work.
You know what? Let me address this really quick. Because JV has been a massive supporter of everything I've done. Willie, he supported you on TikTok. Zach, he's already following you on TikTok. He supports all kind of pro wrestling. What I'm going to need from Zach and Willie is I'm going to need a signed 8x10 that we can send this man.
No,
for helping.
I'll send them.
I got new ones. I got new ones literally coming out with the devil mask and everything. I'll have them on Friday.
JV, we're going to get you those autographs, man. Whether it's me sending it, whether it's Willie and Zach sending it, we're going to get you those autographs for everything you do, not just for us, but to grow wrestling and put the spotlight back on wrestling. You definitely deserve it. We're going to get you those signed photos, man. No problem. I
used to go, bro, like, you could tell what type of match I was having by, what type of paint I was wearing. Because if I knew I was having a banger, bro, I'd go out there in full paint, full design, full detail. And if I come back to the locker room and my paint is everywhere and it looks like I got gangbanged by Crayola, you know I went out there and I fucking worked. I worked.
You did not just say gangbanged by Crayola. I'm dead.
I did. Have you ever seen face paint after you wrestle? It looks fucking...
JV, you deserve it, man.
It's horrendous.
My thing is, when I get to the back, if I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up, I don't feel like I did good.
Mm-hmm. And like, bro, I work Sabu.
That's the definition of leaving it all in the ring, Willie.
It is, bro. When I worked Sabu, I went out there and like I was in full paint and I thought we were gonna have this banger of a match and it was gonna be super fun. I knew what it was walking into it because it's Sabu. He can't do nothing but throw chairs. You know what I mean?
I love this guy. We got the same. I threw him out of the Battle Royal and won in Tennessee.
And we were in a triple threat, so I knew what type of match it was gonna be. And I knew that me and Chuckles were going to be the ones to put the work in, and he was just going to come in wherever his spot was. He had one job that when he was on the outside, just eat up time. That was his only job. We were scheduled for 20. We ended up going 12 because he rushed through everything. I walked back into the locker room the same way that I walked out of the locker room in full paint. My shit wasn't even chipped, and I was mad. I was so mad because, that's not how I work, bro.
It's a waste of time, yeah.
Him and Sandman, when they are like the two, oh my God, they was like, even though Sandman was putting me over, but he was like one of the most rude and didn't want to do what he really supposed to come there to do.
I had a better match with Sandman than I did Sabu, Willie.
I want to address this comment. I want to address this comment really quick. Whether it's two podcasters, two pro wrestlers, that last word in this comment is exactly why we do everything we do. This is why I do my homework to do my podcast. This is why Justin does his homework. This is why Willie and Zach train every day to get better, because the support you guys give us means the absolute world. Without you guys, whether we're podcasters or wrestlers, if you're wrestlers, you're just two people in a ring, doing your thing. If you're podcasters, you're just sitting in front of a camera talking to people. But it's because of the support you guys give us is why we're able to do the things that we do. Thank you so much.
It's true, man. I wouldn't be Zach Monstar. I wouldn't be doing the stuff that I do if it wasn't for the people who are watching and supporting me, believed in me, man. I would just be another guy walking around looking scary for no fucking reason.
That's why I do so many giveaways, because I could not be close to being Willie Finesse if there weren't people cheering for me or saying you're the GOAT, or all the little wonderful words of encouragement. Even some of the criticism, the respectable criticism, is what makes me that's why I do what I do, because I would not have no platform. I don't even think I would be as big as I am if it wasn't for people like Justin, if it wasn't for people like Kevin. Even me being on here with Zach is bringing me new eyes, because people that love him are now seeing me. And now, you know what I'm saying, I probably gained a couple new followers off him, and we all, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for y'all too.
That's what we do, man. Bro, the best way that I can explain it, In the animal kingdom, you have the watering hole. And this is the one part where it's not predator and prey. It's not this and it's that. It's all the animals come together to drink out of this one hole. This is the one part where there is tranquility and there is peace, but everybody is drinking. See what I'm saying? Everybody is getting that nutrient. And this is what we do. Like, we should be, honestly, the watering hole of professional wrestling. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not, I'm better than Kevin, or Kevin's better than Willie, or Willie's better than Justin. None of it. We are all equal human beings just on this face of the earth, just trying to do something that we love to fucking do, man. And at the end of the day, that's why we do it. It's not about the money or the fame or what comes with it. The girls, the chicks, the clubs, none of it. It literally comes down to we just love what we do, man. And at the end of the day, that's all that we are.
And I can say this. I bet you I don't speak for people, but I guarantee I can speak for all four of us when I say this. We love doing this. We all love doing this. But it, like, I personally, and I feel like y'all too, I can give a damn about being like famous. As long as we are doing what we do and bettering the business, and what we're doing is like taking away from our stress, from our anxiety, because I know we all have our own stresses outside of this, because none of us live a perfect life.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, that's what we do this for. You know what I mean? Like,
this is our escape from reality.
Yes.
The fame doesn't hurt though, like you said. Yeah, we don't do it for this and that, but if you want to, obviously, if you want to get somewhere higher, you got to put in the work. And I feel like that's what Kevin's doing. That's what you're doing, Willie. That's what Zach's doing. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. You know, it's you know, like, obviously, but you know, you got to focus on your mental health first, like I did. Last year, Willie, you know, Kevin knows. Zach, I did 75 interviews last year within the span of 3 months, and I was dead. I was like, I gotta take a break. I'm like, I went on a little bit of a hiatus for a while, but I'm back.
It's good to see you back, man.
Thank you.
Bro, mental health is the biggest and most important thing. Every September, I do a show for suicide awareness, and because, bro, like, that shit hits home to me. And like,
me too.
I wrestle for the people who can't wrestle. I wrestle for the people who were told that they were never good enough. Like, I was picked on and bullied my entire life growing up because I was different. I was different. And man, like, I see what these kids go through now for being different. And like, my biggest message, my biggest goal is to be like, listen, man, if I can do this, if I can survive suicide and arrest and drugs and everything else in the entire universe that I went through, there's no reason that you can't either. All it takes is for you to just believe in yourself, put one foot in front of the other. And my end goal for wrestling, it isn't to be AEW, NXT, to have action figures and shirt lines and all of this shit. It's literally just for kids and for people to understand that it's okay to be fucking different. And at the end of the day, like, that's who you are, bro. The biggest quote that I remember came from Dr. Seuss himself, and he said, "You are you. This is truer than true, and nobody can be you but you." That shit has stuck with me my entire life.
And I'll tell y'all too. Hey, you said something cool, and I'll just say this to my fans. Like, I like to be vulnerable for my people, and I'll tell y'all, and because I'm real enough, you know, it doesn't matter what nobody thinks of me. But if it wasn't, and I mean this, and I'm talking this year, last year, if it literally wasn't for these kids, they'd be like, "Oh, Willie, you're the GOAT," or it's for the people who uplift me all the time, or like make me really feel like I'm doing like something positive for other people. When it comes to like grown people, be like, "Dang, you got me wanting to get more fit," like just anything. I would have been I'd have been killed myself. I'd have been like not been here. I'd have been like Willie Finesse would never have been on one of these screens. And like, that's why I'm so thankful for like, not even just the kids, the adults, the gay people, the black people, the white people, like, I'm so thankful for like all y'all, like seriously, like for Kevin is somebody who I guarantee you, I'll get a message from Kevin one time every week. You know what I mean? Kevin like literally hits me up all the time, like, and he doesn't even know how much that means to me. That means a lot to me. Justin always, before he went on his hiatus, and I understand why you did it, he always hits me up. And then just look at that. This is like everything he said for the past, every time I've been on here, has resonated and is the same way that I feel. Like literally the same exact way that I feel. And like, if it wasn't for none of y'all, especially y'all in here and all these supporters, I promise you, there would be no Willie Finesse here at all.
Hands down, man.
So at the end of the day, it comes down to the love and support that we get from everybody on these platforms. If it wasn't for you guys showing the love and support, we couldn't do the things that we were able to do. Yes, it does take hard work, but it also takes you guys tuning in and following and supporting everything we do, whether it's TikTok videos, interviews, going to live shows, getting some merch, whatever it is, however you choose to support. The fact that you guys support is the reason we're able to do the things that we do. And I just want to hit on this comment real quick, and then we're going to close the show out. JB, this is because you work harder than anybody. This is what happens when you put the work in. This is what happens when you grind. This is what happens when you take those people who tell you that's a far-fetched goal, that something's never going to happen, and you make it happen. When I started this, when I started my podcast, and Justin, I know you're the same way, and Zach and Willie, when you guys started wrestling, and people said you're never going to make it. When I started my podcast, and people said you're never going to get, these wrestlers to come on. I've had the absolute honor and privilege to interview guys like Willie, like Zach, like Nick Aldis, like Eric Bischoff, and it still blows me away every day. But that is because the reason these people come on my shows is because the love and support that they know they're going to get when they come on these shows, and everybody on here that goes out of their way to watch me for an hour. Right now, you guys have been watching for an hour and 30 minutes. We've overshot by a lot, but we I feel like everything we've addressed had to be addressed. And for myself and the other three people on the screen, we cannot thank you guys enough for everything you do for us. You guys think you're just watching a screen for an hour. You don't know how much that truly means to us and how much you guys help us. And when we feel like we're having a bad day, I've been there. Justin, I know you've been there. When we're having a bad day and we're like, why do we even do this? It's because that comment that comes through. Thank you so much. I got to ask the wrestler a question I've always wanted to ask him. I got to see Willie live. I got to see Zach live. The fact that you guys support us is the reason we get up and do this every day, because it does get monotonous. It does get repetitive. It does get hard to do. Whether you believe that or not, there's people who want to be podcasters, want to be pro wrestlers, and we're sitting here doing it, and we're telling you it's not easy. And you guys are like, what do you mean it's not easy? It gets hard. It builds up. But because
you will lose so much sleep.
The love and respect you guys send to us each and every time you see us is what makes us do this. So thank you all who are watching. You guys want to sit here and thank us? No, we're not doing anything. Thank you guys for watching the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Flat out, man. Thank you.
With that being said, I don't think we can end the show on a much more positive note. I don't think it's going to get any better than that. Guys, this has been our NXT prediction show with some added bonuses. And it looks like in the future we are going to get Zach Monstar versus Willie Finesse. I can't wait to see it. I know they can't wait to do it. And I'm going to produce the shit out of it. It's going to be.
I can't wait to hit a Fortnite dance so we can steal all of it.
With that being said, guys, make sure you go show our sponsor some love. You have A-Rock Designs on Facebook for all those cups she makes, whether it be wrestling related or non-wrestling related. Storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society to get all of your amazing merch. Even like the wristband that Willie's wearing, like the hoodie I'm wearing, like the shirts that we have, go ahead and support us. And if you can, support us and get yourself some merch. You're not going to be disappointed. Make sure you follow twitch.tv/HeelKevin. Our newest sponsor, where'd their banner go? Our newest sponsor being firstwarrior.com for all your patriotic apparel needs. And as you know, the one scrolling across the bottom of your screen, thecoldestwater.com. Guys, go ahead and plug yourselves, plug your clothing line, plug your merch, whatever you need, and we're going to sign off.
Well, I'm Justin Del Rio. You can follow me right there, Nerds of Wrestling. I have way too much social media to name, but if you really want to support me, go on Nerds of Wrestling.
Nerds of Wrestling across all platforms.
Yeah. It's different names for like Instagram and Twitter, but if you want them, just message me and I'll message you the other names. And What's Up Wrestler is my name of the podcast. So yeah, support that and Nerds of Wrestling. I got a shit ton of interviews coming up. I'm very excited and it's gonna be a great time. Zach, I gotta get you on my show sometime.
Absolutely.
Willie, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Man, follow Nerds of Wrestling, follow Wrestling Review Society, Zachy Taylor on TikTok. And follow when we all follow them, look for everything that they got. If it's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, follow these guys. I'm always gonna put y'all.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, man.
Man, it's the same thing that everybody else has said. Follow. Like follow these boys. Follow wrestling. Follow. Man, find one indie wrestler that you don't know. Just type in indie wrestling on YouTube and find somebody that you like and follow them. Support them. Go on Storefrontier and look at the entire roster of who they have. Just look at somebody that strikes your eye. Buy a shirt. Support them just with a click and a follow. Do it. Because at the end of the day, you're helping what we do, not by the purchase of it, but by the fact that you're helping us get our name out there, our brand. You can find anything that I'm doing at storefrontier.com/Zach Monstar. My TikTok was already posted up on here. Like, by all means, man, just find me on YouTube. Just watch a match. The same thing for Willie. I didn't know who Willie was until Kevin told me who he was. And I turned around and I went and I found him and I watched him and I fell in love with the work that this man does to the point that I want to wrestle him.
It means a lot too.
Just, man, support us so we can continue to support this dream that we have, because this unattainable brass ring is not so unattainable if you think about it. Thank you guys so much.
Everybody says, WWE's getting stale and these bigger brands are getting stale and they're pushing people they shouldn't push. The way we change that is supporting the people they should push by supporting the independent wrestlers who don't get that look. You blow their shit up and make them, it's like, Cody Rhodes said it better than anybody. Take them from undesirable to absolutely undeniable. With that being said, guys, I have some belt reviews coming up for you exclusively on the Twitch channel. You are only going to be able to see it on the Twitch channel. It will not be on YouTube. It will not be on Facebook. Twitch.tv/HeelKevin. I got some belt reviews that are going to be posted later on today. We have another episode. Actually, no, the War Room will not be live this Thursday because I'll be heading down to a wrestling event, but I'm sure I'll meet up with Zach and some other guys there and give you some live looks at show day, what goes into show day, and some behind-the-scenes really cool stuff along with the belt presentation for that company. You can catch What's Up Wrestler on Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play, wherever you get your streaming needs, and follow. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time, hopefully soon. But the belt reviews will be up today on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HeelKevin. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.